that. Okay. Oh, there's these quails, there's doves, there's all kinds of little hummingbirds. There's all kinds of birds that come over here all the time. So nice. Okay. All right. Let's get started here. You can just start by dropping in. There's a lot of planes that go over top. Oh, maybe I should put the microphones on. Can you guys hear me okay? Good. Okay. Okay, so as you just continue to breathe, if there's anything that you feel like you need to let go of, perhaps any doubts or things like that inside of your body, just imagine breathing them out and being really thankful for them as you let them go. Just breathing in a feeling of grace, beautiful grace inside of your body. And just imagine that that grace lives in every cell of your body. And it's just easy and it's soft, it's calm. It's got a really nice flow to it. And you could even imagine that this grace, it goes with you everywhere that you go. When you walk down the street, you're walking with grace. When you're typing on the computer, you're typing with grace. When you develop programs or workshops or whatever it is that you're working on, you are weaving in that beautiful grace. That wonderful grace is given to you every day, all day long, and so you extend it out to others. Knowing there will always be more given and there will always be more that you can give and pass along. And then breathing some beautiful strength and power into your jaw. Letting that fill up your jawbone, and running all the way down into your throat and down into your heart. Knowing that your words are powerful and that when they are spoken with grace, they become even more powerful, even more beautiful, even more wonderful. And envisioning this world as we are creating it, this era of peace and love, every need provided for, abundance of everything, food, water, love, care, community. In a world where people know who they are, so they're fully in their power. And because they're fully in their power, there's no need for any competition. As we realize the unity and the harmony that's there becomes more powerful when we let our uniqueness shine and just be us. Just be you. And I want you to envision yourself so high vibe, so free of any low, heavy, dense energies. It's just as if you're expansive. It's as if you're floating. So happy, so filled with joy. And notice from this state, from this heightened awareness, what it's like when you make eye contact with someone, what it is that you're sending them when you see them. How you really see them at a soul level and you instantly just send them love, more love, compassion, care, kindness, gentleness. And in fact, you could envision the world right now with that beautiful, brilliant, bright, white, divine, heavenly love raining down on all the people of the earth. And noticing how uplifting the world is when we allow our thoughts behave in this way. And perhaps even allowing someone to come to mind that you know could use some extra of this, and sending it to them right now and knowing it will be received. And then for a moment here, just imagine that there's a little fountain and it's just right super close. And it's got really clear water in it, sand in the bottom. And just go over to that fountain and just see if there's a message or any messages written in there for you, or perhaps you'll hear them, see them, feel them, know what that message is. Just take a moment. Envisioning yourself here in a prismatic bubble filled with divine light and love. And just seeing that bubble with you everywhere you go. And then as you're ready, you can just begin to bat your eyes back open and bring yourself back into the room, remembering any messages that came through for you. Okay. Anybody want to share what messages or whatever came through?
Thank you so much for that, Michelle. It was awesome. For me, it was a message. I had to put my face in the water, and it was like this vocable sound, and it was really clear, and it just said, "You are one." So I feel like there's layers and levels to that understanding. Like I am one with everything, but that also that I am one. I feel like I focus so much on we and world enlightenment, and so realize like I am one, and that there's that awareness of being one and also being at one with everyone, and the smiling from the soulful level, that was awesome. Especially seeing the world from that place. It was just this feeling of everything's all right. That the moment is okay. That whatever seems to be out of place or in disorder, it's part of that, again, that one view of that everything is all held in love. So that was wonderful. Thank you.
Welcome. Yep. So good. Sarah, did you get anything?
Yeah. The message, the first one that came through was hope. And then the second message, it said like ego shedding. And then I was in the pond and it was like I could like I was being sloughed off like layers, like an exfoliation, and I could like feel and see it. It was a very like somatic, visceral like feeling. It's kind of hard to put to words. But then the water just like transmuted all of that away. Um, I've been feeling super weird this weekend in like just a very like dizzy, floaty, um, like very calm and relaxed and sleepy, but also like like a jitter inside. It's very so I just felt really relaxed when I went in there just now and like kind of dissociated.
Well, there's been a few people that were talking about that. Really, as they've been just like letting things go, then all of a sudden there is that kind of like, whoo, what is this energy? And it doesn't like necessarily feel normal. And what I saw this as is, as you let things go, well, you now freed up all this extra energy, and so you now have it. And so then it's like just readjusting to that. I have this, so now what am I going to use this for? And so it can almost feel a little, until you get used to it, and then it takes a couple days, and then it levels out, and then you're like, okay, this is my new normal now, and now I feel good. Okay, so I have a question for you guys. If you were to just ask yourself, what percent of heaven would you say you're living in? So this is what your mind state. What would you say? What percent of heaven your mind is at?
Right away, mine said 45%. And then I was like, oh gosh, that's not high enough. But I just wanted to share that before I like started judging that.
Yep.
So it said 45%.
Okay. Daniel, what comes to you?
For me, it feels like it feels like around 80% in terms of time consistency that I'm feeling connected. And I wanted to mention too what you were talking about grace, because the energy totally shifted when you went into the jaw. I felt like that to me, I feel like is the daily rhythm, or sorry, the daily asking of divine consciousness. It was a beautiful reminder, and I actually saw myself typing with grace, so it was a beautiful visual. And I mean, I feel like it's also a very difficult question for my mind to comprehend, because I don't feel like it fully knows. Like, to me, what Christ even says in the letters is, he was not even a divine person while on earth. Like, his full enlightenment happened after. So, like, to me, it's an incomprehensible question. But I feel like maybe I'm an eternal optimist, but I do feel like a lot of the time, especially lately, I'm continuously reaching out to divine consciousness, and it feels more and more evidence appearing that it really is heaven all the time. It's that we're awakening to it. So that 20% though, I think is it's a strong ego. Like, it tricks you. It's like, hey, look at anyways. Yeah.
I take that too, right? So then if it's, whatever percent, then the opposite of that is not that. And so then if you would look at that as like you compartmentalize as a day, well, then that means that this percent is I'm planting these seeds of not heaven, and we don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
So what I did when I would wake up in the morning, I'd be like, okay, what percent am I at? I'd be like, oh, ugh, 98. Okay, that's not going to do. Okay, so then I would take that other 2% and I would ask, okay, what is this? And I would be told, oh, it's sadness. Okay.
Mhm.
And it's like, where is this coming from? Why? Why? And so then I would go into it. And, as a hypnotherapist, I'm just basically doing therapy on myself. So we can do this here with you guys today. I would take that percent and I would feel it. And then I would go back, okay, what's the earliest follow it back? What's the earliest memory that I have And then something would come up that would be associated with that sadness. And it would be like, okay, well, I need to look at this in a new light. I need to look at this through a different eye. How was this for me? You know, how can I heal it? What did that younger me need? And then would heal it, give them what they need, and then come back and like, okay, I'm at 100% now. Um,
Amazing.
you know, because otherwise you go out throughout the day and you don't even notice. You don't even notice that we're like placing these little judgments about things of like you see a person walking down the street and there's always a quick immediate judgment that comes. But it's like, okay, so what if we can make that a heavenly judgment? So I'd be driving through Joplin and I would see, you know, there was many homeless people there and I would see them. They didn't even look like what they, I'm sure, actually appeared as, but I'm seeing them as like this like person who is like, they went through that because they had to. There's nothing wrong with where they're at. They're supposed to be like that. But I would see them in their full light. And it's like, how do we bless people when we do that? People receive our consciousness all the time. So when people walk by and they're like, oh, you know, this poor person, oh, this sad person, we're sending that vibe out and it's being received by them and it's being added to what they already are, which is that vibe. That's why it's being attracted to them. So the
Mm.
way to change it is to like, no, oh, I'm sending them this. I see them as this. That's who they are. And then that is received. They won't know why. They don't know who's doing it. It doesn't matter, but it will be received on a soul level.
Mm.
That's how we do it.
That's a beautiful practice, and it reminds me of an inspired activity that I had years ago. And when I'm passing people in public, I will, in my inner eye, see them smiling with a big like grin, and to me that was always like their soulful self, like almost like I'm on a roller coaster, but I forgot it kind of energy, and so similar to that. Thank you for that, Michelle. Yeah, it's a beautiful reminder.
Really blesses them
Right.
100%.
And I can really resonate with that too, because I can also, I can see the good in everyone and I can see the light in everyone. And I've always been able to do that. But what I've noticed is like, I see that and then it's followed by the like, but I wish they could see that in themselves, or I wish they, so that's still there, even though I'm like thinking that it's not, it is there.
Yeah.
So that's great. Thank you for that.
Really just being aware of it. So
Right.
this was what came through the other night because exactly what you're talking about. I was recording some content and my computer is like running. And so as I'm like talking, thinking, speaking high vibe things, my computer's like revving super high. And then as soon as it was like, oh, but I feel sorry for that person or whatever, my computer slowed down and it was like, oh, and I was like, what is happening here? And it kept happening for like the hour that I'm recording. And it was like, just pay attention to that, just notice that. And it's like, we feel like we're doing somebody a favor by being like, oh, you know, this, you know, person, and feel so bad for them. And it's like, we're not doing them a favor at all. You're giving them that energy that they're putting out, which is why we're giving them that energy, because that's what they're putting out. But it's like staying here and blessing them in that way. And also
Mm.
not feeling sorry for them, because I think of my situation that I went through, that was the hardest thing I ever went through. I didn't want people feeling sorry for me. And that was what led to all of the wonderful things. So if somebody's going through something hard, it's like, oh, thank you. And it seems counterintuitive, but thank you, because so much goodness is going to come from this. Like this is happening for them. Thank you for this. Thank you for this. It's a totally different vibe than lowering yourself, feeling sorry for somebody. It's hard to do.
Right. And as I was reading the Christ letters too, that's, you know, he spoke to that, like not having empathy. There's no place for empathy. Or and at first I was like, I didn't understand that. You know, I didn't understand that. That seemed
Yeah,
um
harsh.
and that, yeah, that really makes sense the way you're putting it. So then my question is, as we're dealing with other people, you know, how do you, and again, I mean, I already know the answer to the question, but I would love to just talk this through. Like, how do you provide them support, or with someone who's not hearing or ready to receive that message? I mean, I know you still just say the things, you put the blessings upon them, but how do you offer support to someone who is going through, like my brother and his wife, or my brother, you know, had an affair on his wife, and she's got her part to play and he has his part to play, but neither one of them is like ready to heal. Or and it's like, as much as I can see like there's a lesson in here, and if you guys are, you know, ready to like do all your work, and like it's gonna be really hard, but it's gonna be beautiful on the other side, and I can see all of this for you. And they're just like, this is the most terrible thing in my life and I will never be able to move on. I'm 50 years old, and who's gonna want me, and how will I reinvent myself, and you know, just all the like, ugh. um and so I don't, for me, it's like I've reached out so much that I kind of, I backed off, and I, you know, I send them love and loving energy, but like to be in that, it just doesn't feel like I'm of any benefit, or I don't know what.
That's really what you can do, is just, you know, offer the goodness. You can, you know, tell stories. You could tell them the life story of like, I know it doesn't seem like when you're in it that this could possibly be happening for you, because I couldn't see it. It was like, how could this be happening for me? My life is as I knew it is over. But now it's like, my life as I knew it is over. That's freaking amazing. Like, I didn't even know. So good. So since then, when, you know, if something would happen, which was so rare, but if something would happen, it was like, no, this is for me. This is happening for me. Okay, this is so good. Why? Why? I don't know yet why, but I'm not going to put myself in that pit of hell. Like, I was in it for 6 months of like, I wanted to kill myself, like, because I didn't see a way out of it. I didn't know how it could ever get better. I didn't know all the things. So sometimes people just gotta get down to the lowest of the low, and then they have a choice, end it or heal it. And the choice is up to them. And then if they choose to heal it, then they will see eventually. And if they choose to end it, then they will see eventually, like, oh, that was why I came here. Oh, now I got to come back and do it again. Dang it, why did I do that? But yeah, it's tricky, and especially when you're really close with people. um but you could just say, you know, I don't know why, um, but I know that in some way it's happened for you, right? It's made you realize, like for you, that you love each other, or it's made you wake up to some fact that you were sleeping through your life and now you're awake. Like, it's already done things, but sometimes people just need time. So what I like to do is just imagine that, you know, brilliant, beautiful, bright, white, heavenly light just raining down on them. And as you do that, know that you're doing something wonderful them, for them. Know that it's being received by them. And you don't even have to talk. You don't even have to speak the words. You can just energetically send them that as often as you think of them. And yeah. Nathaniel, do you have any advice on this?
Well, what was coming to my mind is to be like our wonderful creator, you know, and I feel like creator is always talking to us, but it's symbolically. And I think one of the most powerful ways is, like Christ says, the purpose behind existence, or the purpose of existence, is the mutual reciprocation of communication between creation and the source of our being. So I feel like that, in order for that mutual reciprocation of communication, the reciprocation is really important. So the listening, like creator's always listening to us, right? Like divine consciousness is always holding us in perfect love. As you were talking, Michelle, gave me another key to the perspective of unconditional love. This has been my large contemplation, because I feel like in the mainstream English, this understanding of unconditional love has a lot to do with forgiveness, and rightfully so. There's a lot of wounds in this society, and that's kind of probably the first piece of the puzzle. But when we look at unconditional love as the creative power, what you were talking about, it to me is an awareness of what father mother life is. It is the fulfiller of all needs. It's the fulfiller of all growth. It's the fulfiller of all protection and all health and well-being and harmony in relationships. So when we just simply align to it and be the space and be as it, and maybe the inspired moment will come where it's like you will be asked, what should I do, or you will be inspired to take an action. You know, it could be anything. It could be like a loving note, or it could be you know, I'll watch the kids. Maybe they'll one day read the Christ letters, and there's that beautiful, very pragmatic guide to conflict resolution, holding, and again, it comes down to listening. It's like you get 10 minutes, probably 10 minutes in this case with an affair. Like, I'm going to listen to you for 10 minutes and you just lay it on me. But I think another important distinction about also the empathy and sympathy, because that was like the black stone in the Christ letters for me for a long time. I was like, what, in like 2 paragraphs, he says, don't have sympathy. And then like empathy will lead you down into like a chasm. And you were talking about that, Michelle, but I realized that the context of the letters are very important. And in that situation, when you're dealing with a conflict, if you have done something to affect someone and it has caused a great harm for them, it is very important to listen with empathy and to feel them, because you've actively been involved with that, right? But listening to everyone's sorrows, that's a whole other thing. Like if you're, but when you have caused a pain, I think so they have to have that conversation one way or another. And that's a beautiful, simple thing. It's like, hey, give each other 10 minutes. And if you're really wise, ask for help from divine consciousness ahead of time. It's going to make the whole conversation much more healing and beautiful. So those were the things that came to my mind in terms of that particular circumstance, and also what you shared, Michelle.
Yeah, that 10 minutes is great too, or whatever's agreed upon. And especially because typically when somebody's talking and it's like, oh, they immediately want to defend themselves, and they're not thinking for 1 second how the other person is feeling. They're not actually listening. And so if it's like, no, you actually can't talk. I'm done speaking at 8 minutes, but now you can sit here for 2 minutes because the timer's not out, and think about what was just said. And then it's the other person's turn to talk, right? Because, if they love each other, then they want to make it better. Yeah, it's realizing too, there's actually nothing to forgive when you get into total alignment, because it was all happening for you. Like I think with my husband, it's like, okay, all the things he did, oh, I could be bitter and angry and talk about him for the next 20 years. Or I could go up to my cabin, go there to forgive him, gain enlightenment, and be like, this is why it happened. What a wonderful gift. Why would I be angry? This was for me. That would have never happened had I not been suffering and wanted to end the suffering. And he was the one who caused the suffering. So thank you, because this is what it led to. And it's like, there's nothing to forgive because this was a gift, like a beautiful gift. It did not feel like it at the time, not for 1 second, not for 6 months, not for longer than that. It didn't feel like that. But then when it did, it was like, oh, because now I've seen the truth. Now I'm in the real perspective. And then it shifted to like compassion of, oh, well, there'll be karma that he'll have to deal with. And you could normally think, in a situation like that, you would want that. And it's like, oh, I hope he can handle that. Like, I hope that's going to be okay. And then I, did have compassion, but was like, no, well, whatever it is, maybe. And the divine told me he will gain enlightenment in this life. So something will have to happen that will cause that to happen. So I was like, okay, so maybe I shouldn't, good, let his karma come to him. It will be a wonderful thing. Thank you. It's really judging nothing, even the things that happen to us. But that's tricky to get there. Till you're there, then it's like, oh, I understand. Of course, this is why.
Mm.
We then suffer through hell when we don't believe that, when we think that this has happened to us, and we're suffering in this moment in hell, and we're also planting these seeds, and we're going to harvest them again and again and again as long as we continue to do that. So the quicker that we can shift into, I don't know why, but I know that this is happening for me, so thank you. We've then switched from hell to heaven in that minute, and then we're planting those seeds, and then we will harvest those seeds in the future. So I don't know if that answers your question. It's a tricky place to be in, but really just, holding the light. And all of the problems in our world exist because people believe that they're not lovable. And then it plays out. And it's like, oh, you believe you're not lovable? Here's the proof. And it's not proof that you're not lovable. It's proof of the belief that you have. So when you change the belief, then you get different things. But when you believe you're not lovable, it will affect every single area of your life. And, sometimes these people, you know, these things are agreed upon. Like, I'm going to come here and I'm going to hurt you real bad. And then this is what's going to happen because of that. And it's like, okay, yeah, cool. I can handle that. That sounds great. Let's do that. And then you get here brain wiped and you're like, what was the plan? This can't be the plan. Who would come up with this plan? And you just got to deal with it. But it's all for us, for our evolution. Any of the difficult things you've been through in your life that you had to heal made you stronger, made you you. So they're all a blessing. But as long as we remain a victim to them, then we're planting victim seeds, and we will be a victim again and again and again and again and again. Okay.
I want to thank you about the teaching on karma, because it goes back, I think, a few calls, and that beautiful teaching about karma that came through, I believe it was through you. And just the reflection that karma is never it's punishment, it's the laws of existence. So it's coming from divine love, because we're creators and we're at one with creators. So it's like, stop planting those seeds, because this is the result, right? What you were just saying, just another reflection. So
Order into chaos.
yeah.
And when we're aware of it, then we're not going to plant more chaos in our life. Why would we do that?
Nathaniel, how long have you been studying the Christ letters? You're just so well versed, and it's fun to hear your input, because I'm new to it. It's just, thank you. I love hearing what you have to share.
Yeah. Well, that's a big question. So the letters specifically, I found them about, I think, 11 years ago now. And so I've been actively, I can't tell you how many times I've read them. They're my constant go-to. This was the original copy that I found, and you can't really find this version anymore, but it's not even complete. So, but yeah, longer than that in terms of Christ consciousness teachings. I mean, yeah, there's a whole story there. I'll share it with you. I'm currently writing our first book to give context to all of this, and I feel like many of us have been multiple lifetimes, you included there, Sarah. So I would say for a long time.
Do you have to run and go pee really quick? Do you want to tell her about what happened in the
Sure.
forest and all the things? Because it's
Sure.
fascinating. Yeah.
It'll be my second
Yeah.
YouTube video. Since I'm on YouTube now, it's like my greatest fear is like being on YouTube and sharing about my remembrance of being one of Christ's sisters in that lifetime. Like, one of my most profound memories was I went to a Vipassana meditation retreat when I was 18. Yeah. And in that, I was exposed to first formal meditation training. I was always interested, like, oh, and so I went to this, and it's like, it's very, very like disciplined. It's like 10 hours a day you're meditating minimum. And that's sitting in the hall, but like, try to meditate while you're eating, try to meditate. And the form of meditation was one of the techniques that Buddha taught. I don't know, have you ever heard of Vipassana before? So Vipassana it means insight in Pali, but basically it's this technique where you become very aware of all the sensations in your body. And so it starts the first day, all you're doing for the first 2 days is anapana. So you're just listening to the breath, observing the nostrils for 10 hours a day. So that's like, it forces your mind to focus. Then by day 3, you start feeling sensations just in the triangle here. So any little, like if it's itchy and you just watch it at quantum. Anyways, eventually you do the whole body. And what happened when you do this is it starts unraveling energies, because you're developing equanimity. So, because the mind has this constant need to judge all sensations. Like, oh, I like that, I want more of it. Oh, I don't like that. So when this mind stops doing that, allows all the pent up energies to unravel. And I had several energy centers open up. I saw worlds beyond Earth and all these things. But one of the most poignant and emotional ones was I was in the crowd watching the crucifixion and feeling very personally affected. Like, I had a very personal relationship with Yeshua, with Christ, and feeling a very tremendous sense of guilt that I needed to stand up and announce that this was very wrong, and how could we do this? All he did was teach love. And when I came out of the meditation, I was very confused, because I thought I had like actually gone back in time and had an opportunity to change the timeline and all these things. Because I was contemplating physics and all this stuff in my mind. So I spent many years and I didn't really talk about it. And then 2.5 years later, Christ appeared to me just as pure light in the forest. I spent a lot of time contemplating, meditating, just self-directed. I was never a big reader. I collected books, but I spent all my time like asking questions. And it was, the question was, what would a world look like where we all did what we loved and lived in abundance of the lands and had access to it? And when I stood up from that question, that's when he appeared to me as just pure light. And it was only actually meeting Julie. I went through divorce as well, very painful experiences, feeling very isolated in a lot of ways. And there was that pain that led me to A Date with Destiny, Tony Robbins, and seeing Julia in my vision. And then when I met her, I met one of her teachers who recognized me. She says, I know who you are and who you were. And I said, really? So she just opened a meditation, lit some frankincense, evoked memories from that time. And I saw myself as one of the sisters, mourning for a great while, continuing on his teachings, helping tribal peoples, in these ways. And so that's a more fulsome answer. I feel like many of us have been on this quest, probably even since before that time, since Alara has alluded to. Some of us are world awakeners, and I've felt that for a long time. I think my roots are in the Sirius system is probably my deepest roots. But apparently I've had many lifetimes in different worlds. And I do, yeah. So that's a very fulsome answer. Sorry, I took a lot of time there, but well, not sorry, you asked. That's the Canadian habit I'm breaking here. I'm moving to America. I'm going to be American. I gotta practice my accent. Oh, yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, Michelle. Thanks for asking and encouraging.
Okay. All right. Okay. Do we have, okay. So we have one here that I'm going to channel, and then I feel like we need to do a little exercise when we're done here. Okay. Golf ball, and a golf club. Okay. And it's just focusing the attention on the golf ball, and it's going into the hole. Okay. And then it's showing how the person feels. So they're like, oh yes, so good. Got it in the hole. And then they're showing them hitting it, by the hole, and it goes past, and they're showing their reaction to it, and they're like, ah, and they're actually really angry that it didn't go in, like, oh, that's so stupid, why would that happen? And they're angry at the ball. They're angry at themselves. They're like really getting down on themselves. Must have been a long golf game, because now they're riding their golf cart over and they're taking their clubs and they're throwing it in a lake or the pond, and they're just pissed. Okay. So they go home. This was a man, and they're telling their wife, they're explaining all the angry, blah, 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 and all the clubs are in the pond. Next thing you know, he's at a golf shop and he's buying more golf clubs. And he's going on again. And I just see the words repeated patterns, repeated patterns, repeated patterns. Okay, and it's saying why this is happening, because it's actual repeated patterns. And he wasn't dealing with the emotional, like, because that's golf's a pretty intense game when you get really emotionally invested in it. And so those are really powerful seeds that are getting planted. Okay, but now it's focusing again on the hole and when it went in and the joy that was there. And they're saying, oh, if he could just have focused on this and only paid attention to this, to that, he would have got so much more of that. And eventually he would have only got that if that was what he was giving his attention to. Okay, that's it. It's a pretty simple one. It's true. It's so true. We, things will present in our life. So this had happened to me. So when I left, my ex, if he would text me or anything, it would like kind of get me like upset. And I was like, no, 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 you don't get my energy anymore. And so if ever a text or an anything would come in, it was like, okay, this is what happens. And I would laugh. Like, we're not even in the same country. I don't have to deal with this anymore. And then I would put him up on a shelf and I would slide something in front of it and I would think about something else because I'm like, I'm not planting these seeds. I know fully how it works now. So I'm not doing that, not even for 1 second. You can't make me. You're not going to make me. None of these things. I'm in control. And you can't make me do that, even though it was so tempting and would have been really easy to get pissed, to get worked up, all the things. It was like I would no longer allow it because this is my life and I want it to be good and I want it to be heaven. So I'm like, I'm only planting the seeds of heaven. And then over the years, I noticed like, okay, well, I then couldn't watch certain shows because it would dip my consciousness. And it was like systematically letting go of these things. And if somebody was like really into TV or that was what they were doing and they spent, lots of their downtime doing it, it might feel like this was a loss. None of this felt like a loss to me. It felt like a win and it felt like, oh, I have so much more time. Oh, I can do other things. And so it's really about letting go of all of those seeds that we don't want to plant. But until we're aware that we're doing it, we'll keep doing it and we won't even know. So I had gone out to this concert and I'm like, oh, my mind is cleansed and cleared of all the things. I'm at 98% every time when I wake up in the morning. I'm good. But what is that 2%? It was pretty significant of like a little quick judgment. And I would make the judgment, but then I would correct it as soon as I did. You'd see somebody and they were, maybe talking bad or they were whatever. And it's like, what's their problem? But then I would have that, what's their problem? Or I would have a quick, thought, but then I would correct it and be like, no, it's just all love. Okay. It's all love. And I would just send love. But then I was having these, because of the concert that I was at, it was being reflected back to me by every person that was there. Um, this was a spiritual experience. But I was so thankful for it because I had thought like, oh, I'm up here. And it was like, no, there is still these little quick judgments that are being made. And so just being aware of that, like you're driving on the road, you see a yard. I just only see beautiful things now. But at some point I probably didn't. I might have, gone by somebody's house that was filled with junk. It might have thought something about it. And now I wouldn't, but I would have then. And so then I was planting a seed unknowingly. So it's becoming so hyper aware. And this is the mastery, right? It doesn't happen overnight, but it's only awareness that gets us there. Until we're aware of something, we can't change it. We don't know we need to. So let's do a little experiment here. I'll take you through a little session, but we're gonna feel that feeling that like doesn't feel great. I know this sucks, but this is how we'll get rid of it. Feel the feeling that doesn't feel great, and we're gonna follow it back. We're gonna find out where it comes from. We're gonna heal that, and then we're gonna bring it back, so that we can increase the amount of heaven that's there. So, you guys ready? Okay, we'll just start. Okay, perfect. Okay, so you're just going to close your eyes. I'm going to count from 10 to 1. With each number that I count down, just let it all out. Let your breath all out. And so 10, so just notice that every time that you breathe, right at the bottom of your exhale, right before you take in the next breath, notice how your body completely lets go and relaxes right before the next breath comes in. And every time that you notice this, just tell yourself, oh, I let go. And you can sink down really deeply into that nice, calm state of, I've let go. And so 9. And just notice how nice it feels. It feels so nice to let your body be heavy, to let yourself relax, and to really let go. 8. Deeply relaxing down, calmer and calmer. So comfortable. 7. Deeper relaxed now. 6. softening your body. And really slow down your breathing. You will notice that if you do a nice slow exhale, but still a comfortable one, you'll notice how your body becomes so calm that that calmness within the body increases deeply when you exhale slowly. In 5, softer and softer, allowing the body to relax completely. Any tension or stress drains away all the way out. 4, slowly and deeply taking yourself down into this comfortable state of awareness. 3, peaceful and calm. That calmness, if that's even a word, sets in deeply into your cells, into your muscles, into your breath, into your brain. 2, softer and softer, calmer and calmer, deeper and deeper down now. 1, relaxed and comfortable. And now we're just going to bring up whatever is the most important to let go of today, whatever feeling or emotion or thought. And so whatever that is, just allowing that, whatever first pops into your mind, whatever emotion it is that needs to be let go of, letting it come up, letting yourself become aware of it. And then I want you to now deeply feel that in your body. Just notice where you hold it. Notice where it's stored. And as you become aware of that emotion, that feeling, noticing more and more where it is in your body. In a moment, I'm going to count from 5 to 1, and you'll just take a nice deep breath, and we'll follow that feeling all the way back to the beginning of it, all the way back to the first time it came up. So hold on to that feeling, and then nice deep breath in here. And 5, follow that feeling all the way back now. 4, go back. 3, further. 2, all the way back to the beginning of it. And 1. And then whatever scene, time, or thought there is present, just I'll give you a moment to become aware of the situation. And then taking you now, you that is so wise and that knows so many things, and I want you to take you now and put you in that scene back there, that younger or other version of yourself. And I want you to go and ask that version of yourself, what is it that you need? How can I help you? And see what they say to you. And then whatever it is that they need, whatever it is that they want from you, do it for them now, help them now. And then whatever color that emotion was, whatever that is in that other version of yourself, I want you to drain that color, that emotion out of their body and put it down into the ground. Then when it's all the way down in the ground, you're going to bring in that brilliant, beautiful, divine white light that is made of perfect love, perfect acceptance. And that's just going to rain down on that version of you and fill them up from head to toe. And as it fills them up from head to toe, it fills you up from head to toe with that perfect love and that perfect acceptance. Take that version of you and you're going to make a room for them inside of your heart. Perfect room, exactly what they would love. You're going to invite them in there and you're going to let them know you get to stay here forever. You never have to leave. I will be here with you always, always, always. You can pull a star down out of the heavens and bring it down inside of your sweetheart, and you're going to let it just radiate that brilliant divine white light all the time, always. It fills up that entire space. And as you do this, you just tell yourself, I call my power back to me now. And then we're going to play this forward. I want you to see what it looks like in your life without that anymore, with this new, beautiful love in place where that old emotion used to be. And just see what that looks like in your life now. And not only that, but see how it affects the other people in your family and in your life. And you'll notice that as you make room for more love, you get more love. And in fact, you could imagine yourself right now filled with only love at 100% heaven. And you could pull and bring that in right now. And then you could see the whole entire world doing the exact same thing. And you could know that this is how it's done through the love. And you could also become aware of the role that you play in this world to get the world to this place. And then sending out an excited, joyful thankfulness that it is done. It is done. This is why we're here. It's done. And remembering exactly how we did this, so that you can work through this on your own. Any little thing that comes up in the future, you can do exactly what we did here today, and you can do this on your own. And you can even teach others how to do the same for themselves. And taking in a couple more nice, beautiful breaths, breathing in the joy. Recognizing that that divine love is in everything. It's in every energetic molecule. It's in every cell of your body. It's in every plant. It's in the dirt. It's in the rocks. It's in the animals. It's in everything, everywhere, all the time. And recognizing it and seeing it. And the world just becomes more and more beautiful. As we are truly creating an era of peace and love and heaven on this earth. And then you could even put a little smile on your lips. And then when you're ready to bring yourself back, you can just start to bat and blink those beautiful, soulful eyes back open and back into your space. Welcome back.
I have a question. Every once in a while, I had a significant one after meditating. This wave of energy is just, it feels like a whole veil is lifted, and it's just like this. Did you feel that or perceive that at all?
I was knowing that was going to happen.
It often happens unexpectedly, but now I'm noticing it's after doing these meditations and these the going deep within. Thank you, Michelle. That was really beautiful. Wow. Yeah.
It's like a new timeline too. So those veils, we were told that, and we were shown that we would see it, and we've seen these like actual waves like come across, like, whoa, did you just see that? And it's like we stepped into a new timeline, and then being hyper aware of, no, this
Yeah.
is even more miraculous and heavenly than the timeline that we were just in. And that's
Yeah.
what, if something like this, you are now in a timeline where those old things are old things,
Yeah.
and that's not the way it is anymore.
So beautiful.
How are you doing, Sarah?
Whoa, I'm still in the wave. Mine was a little different than normal. It usually takes me back, to myself. And as I did it, as I went through it, like all the kids have now congregated out front, like I think it's the light, and like they're just having fun. But mine right away when you were talking about what percent, I wrote down, self-doubt came to me right away. And as I followed that back, it actually took me back to creation, which is different for me. And I was like, creation of me, or I didn't really question it too much. It was just creation, and it was just a white light, source. And what did I need? Well, I needed divine love and divine light and divine source and all of those things. And then it was like I saw an angel hugging me. So the angel wings, just brilliant white, hugging me, and I could just feeling that. And then as I, as you had us visualize what that would feel like, now I was visualizing myself as, angelic flying like a fairy and a butterfly, and just like it's very sprinkly and sparkly around, and it just felt so wonderful.
That's
It
you.
felt good. So, and I'm still kind of
You're
in
still
there.
in it.
Yeah. So it's hard to come back.
Yeah, you don't need to.
But yeah, that was great.
So then now ask
Mhm.
yourself, what percent of heaven are you in now?
It was 100. I did when I was in there. I was like 100,
Yeah,
100.
Yeah, when you wake up in the morning, that's the best time to do it. It's like, what am I in? Oh, I'm in 100. Perfect. And then you just kind of like, what does your day look like when it's 100? It looks like freaking heaven. And then you encounter the things that are heaven. And it just gets better and better and better and better and better. Like, how can it get better than 100%? I don't know, but it does, and it will. Because then it's like, then more and more people. And that's the thing we noticed too, being here was like, we were told we needed to go out on Friday. We're like, do we want to go out on Friday? We didn't really want to go out. Like, we don't ever really want to leave the house. But every time we do, we meet people and we're like, oh, okay, we got to go. So we were told we had to go. We went. We met very significant people. They're all traveling to the same places that we're traveling, all of these things. And we noticed a few people in there and we both thought, should we talk to that person? And then we just, didn't because there were so many other people. Well, then who shows up to our circle yesterday? We were expecting, like, I can't remember how many people we thought were going to come. Most of the people we thought were going to come did not come. Something last minute came up, and that we ended up with 14. All of the people that showed up were like, dude, I was going to come and talk to you with the thing. Like, how did you end up at the house? We didn't even talk to these people that we had seen out and about and felt drawn to. And it was like, the divine's just going to give them all. It's just like, just tells us because we're magnetizing. And it's like, that is heaven. That's what it is. And every person, nobody had really heard the Christ letters. Nobody had. They were all so open and receptive to it and like, thank you. This is what we needed. I've been praying for this. I have been praying for this. And it's like, of course you did. And that's why you're here, because you ask and you will receive. So it's all happening. It's all happening. And it's so exciting. Yeah. You are an angel, Sarah. Mm-hmm. You know what? Ooh, I like that. That's sweet. Yeah. All right. Well, that's what I got for you guys here today. Anything you guys want to say or contribute before we're off?
I feel really good. So I feel complete, and I'm going to bask in that and carry on with my day and spend some time outside and with my family. It's going to be great. So thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. That sounds wonderful. I love it.
I just want to share a really heartfelt thank you, Michelle. It's I feel really honored to be part of this circle, this unfolding, and yeah, I'm really eager and excited to serve on a new level. I feel like that's what I've been being prepared for. So yeah.
Yeah, it's coming. It's going to be so good. I mean, it's so good. It's like, what's next? We don't even
Yeah.
all know it's going to be something huge and something amazing. And we all get.
Nathaniel, where are you moving to? What area of the US? And when does that
Well,
happen?
it's a good question, Sarah. We're very much adventurers. We follow spirit, so we are. I'm always listening into the way I kind of feel is like, what's the brightest light out there right now? And even before I met Michelle and then Alara, like Arizona has been a bright light. I've always loved. I traveled there once when I was young. We did a road trip from Alberta. It feels like a bright light. We've thought about other areas like Florida has, some like Julia's interested. There's a Centner Academy that is very educational and all about empowering young people. When I think of Florida, I think like flat, humid, and I mean, and I don't know culturally if we're gonna really connect there. I know there's a lot of business focus in Florida, and I'm learning those skills. I think for a reason. I've invested in learning how to market and how to sell because I didn't know these skills, and they're so fundamental to everything, and I feel like I should have learned these skills when I was 5. But anyways, Sedona, we're definitely coming to visit, and I feel like that's been really calling us. I actually just applied for, there's a community development director through the city of Sedona. I put in my resume. I don't meet their qualifications. I don't have like 5 years of city planning, but I put it out there anyways. So, so I'm
Today is the day for planting seeds astrologically, for planting seeds of what you want in the future for the next 12 years and actually communicating it, actually writing it out. So putting it on a website or speaking it to people. So today is the day.
okay, wonderful. That's great to know. I'm going to go and do a video
No
and
pressure.
journal.
Yeah. We also, so there's a retreat center out here that is just so affordable, but of course it'll be like 110 degrees here in the middle of summer, because he's pretty booked up, but we are still considering that maybe that might happen July or August. I'm hearing bells ringing, so that's probably a thing that's going to happen. But it'll
Okay.
be so affordable that and 16 people can stay at this facility at one time,
Okay.
that maybe that would be a good time to come down. It definitely would be a good time to come down, and flights to Phoenix are super cheap, and then that'll be a super cheap stay. So
Okay. Okay.
details on that as we get, but
Sounds good.
it'd be great.
Awesome. Thank you guys. It was so good to see you both.
Thank
See
you, Sarah.
Yeah. All right. Love you.
Love you too. Thank you so much, Michelle. Have a wonderful day.
Yeah, you too. Okay, see you guys next time.
See you.